Kevin McCarthy has done nothing for gun owners in the new Republican majority. Welcome in, everyone. Patrick Parsons here with the American Firearms Association. Hit that like button, hit that share button, comment down in the comments section. Let me know where you are watching from. Yes, there is big news. Here at the American Firearms Association, we say things that others don't. And particularly what I want to bring you today is what I led the show with, and that's that Kevin McCarthy has done nothing for gun owners on the floor of the House of Representatives. Nothing. But in a little bit over 2 weeks from now, March 29th, Kevin McCarthy will be hosting a monster, massive DC swamp fundraiser for Pennsylvania Rhino Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick. This guy, of all the Democrats out there, this guy is a Republican. He is probably more anti-gun than any other Democrat in the Congress. And you say, Patrick, you're crazy. How can you say that? Well, let me read off his record for you here in just a minute. And keep in mind, when I'm reading this, Kevin McCarthy is going to funnel millions of dollars into Brian Fitzpatrick's campaign. Sold the NRCC. So when you hear of a politician pouring money into the NRCC, that money is going to protect anti-gun Republicans and to elect anti-gun Republicans like Brian Fitzpatrick. So if you're on our national email alert list, you would have seen this email this morning. But let me read this to y'all here real quick. So Brian Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania, Kevin McCarthy is hosting a huge fundraiser for him in D.C. with all the lobbyists. They're all going to bring big checks. All the big corporations, all the anti-gun, woke, left-wing organizations, all the PACs. Kevin's going to say, give him money, man. Give him big money. Brian Fitzpatrick voted for Nancy Pelosi's assault weapons ban, H.R. 1808. And I'm giving you the bill number so you can fact check me if you want to. Brian Fitzpatrick voted for Biden's red flag gun state funding bill, S2938, last summer. Fitzpatrick voted for a federal red flag gun confiscation law, H.R. 2377. Fitzpatrick was the lead sponsor of the ban on the sale of semi-auto rifles to people under the age of 21, H.R. 5090. Fitzpatrick was lead sponsor of adding the bump stock ban to the national firearms list, H.R. 4168. And now, Brian Fitzpatrick, and you've heard it here on this show, is the lead sponsor of H.R., let me get the bill number right. I always get my numbers mixed up here. 715, National Gun Registration. He is the only Republican. He is the only Republican who is a sponsor of this bill, H.R. 715, along with 181 Democrats. So Kevin McCarthy says, you know what? I don't think we should even vote on a Second Amendment bill on the floor in 2+ months. No, we don't need to do it. National arrest process. Why? Why would we do that? But you know what? You know what I'm not telling everybody? In a couple of weeks, I'm getting every damn lobbyist in Washington, D.C., every swamp monster who hates your guts, every single one of them, who think you're a deplorable, who think you're a dumb redneck, who think you're a dumb hillbilly, they have contempt for you. Kevin McCarthy said, come over for Brian Fitzpatrick, the most anti-gun member of Congress, give him a huge damn check, and we're going to use that money to reelect him. Now, you say, Patrick, he's the head of the Republican Party, so he's there to reelect Republicans. Okay, I'll give you that point. But what about the tens of millions of dollars that Kevin McCarthy spent in 2022 to attack conservatives in Republican primaries? What about that? Supposedly that was now a deal that was reached in 24 that he's not going to do that anymore. Yeah, right. But Patrick, he's there to reelect Republicans. The majority's all that matters. How long have we heard that? That all we need is the majority and then we'll get everything we want. Bullcrap. That is bull crap. And we all know it. And that is swamp language right there, folks. That is the language of the swamp. And so some of y'all know about me. I've worked in the swamp before. I've been a chief of staff on Capitol Hill. If you know anything about me, you know who for. They get their panties in a wad when I talk about it. Here's what happens. And if you want to really know what happens, watch the show on HBO called The Swamp. Matt Gaetz, some others, Thomas Massey. What The Swamp does, and this is just outside of the fundraiser, right? Outside of all the lobbyists coming over and give money, Jeff Miller, Kevin McCarthy's big swampy lobbyists, Frank Luntz, all their buddies, all the big corporations, all the PACs, the people who hate you. Here's what happens in the swamp. So what the swamp does, the NRCC and the Republican Party, you buy your way onto committees. And Kevin McCarthy is the head of the snake here, okay? And so they come to you with a piece of paper and they say, you owe this amount of money in this Congress to the NRCC. And you say, well, Patrick, it's used to reelect and elect Republicans. Okay. But what about anti-gun Republicans? Like, that's literally a part of the Republican Party platform, right? So they come to each member of Congress and they say, this is how much you owe. If you want to be on that committee, you owe this. If you want to do this, you pay that. And then they take that money. All money's fungible. We know this. They take that money and then they pass it to people like Brian Fitzpatrick, Nicole Miliatakis in New York, all the anti-gunners in New York, Joyce in Ohio, all these anti-gun Republicans, Kevin McCarthy, Tom Emmer, Richard Hudson. What if I told you that the lead sponsor of national reciprocity is also the same guy at the NRCC who passes out checks to Brian Fitzpatrick, who's an anti-gunner? You see what I'm saying? Like, that is the swamp. And the politicians, they get this piece of paper. These are your dues. And they say, how much can I write you? How much can I raise you? Let me go beg the lobbyists for cash. Or let me go beg some little old grannies and then I'll give you some money and then you can spend it on anti-gun politicians. How about that? That's the swamp. That's when you sold out, buddy. That is the swamp. And that is what McCarthy's good at. He's been there over 30 years. Again, you can make the argument to me and we'll debate it. Patrick, he needs to reelect Republicans. Yeah, I heard that when they said, we got to reelect John McCain. We got to reelect Pat Toomey, Mr. Gun Control, Pat Toomey. We got to do this. We got to do that. No, we don't have to do that. And in 2 weeks, Kevin McCarthy's hosting this massive fundraiser for a swamp, anti-gun swamp monster, Brian Fitzpatrick, who literally is a former FBI agent. Let me read his record again for those of y'all just joining us. So Kevin McCarthy is hosting a fundraiser for Brian Fitzpatrick. Voted for assault weapons ban, voted for red flag gun confiscation state funding bill, voted for the red flag, national red flag law, which didn't pass ultimately. Lead sponsor, the ban on the sale of semi-autos, people under 21. That's a federal ban. Bump stock ban to the NFA, fix NICS, and then he's now the lead sponsor, just last month, of national gun registration. National gun registration. HR 715, Brian Fitzpatrick, and 181 Democrats. Kevin says, I don't give a flying crap about those stupid gun owners. They're dumbasses. I'm going to go raise tons of money for this guy. And then all the money that the politicians in Washington give to the NRCC, That money is going to go to anti-gunners like Brian Fitzpatrick. That is the swamp at its finest. That's why you keep getting screwed. And until you hold these people accountable, and until your fellow gun owners and grassroots activists know about this stuff, the swamp is just going to keep consuming some of your favorite politicians because they're just playing the game. They are playing the game. And guys, if you have yet to sign what we've created for y'all, if you're not on our national email list, I'm going to post it down here in the comments. See if one of our staffers does. No, they haven't done it yet. We've created a pre-written email for you that goes right into Kevin McCarthy's office. Just send him an email and say, hey, man, when are you going to start fighting for our Second Amendment rights and not anti-gun rhinos? Just period. Like, when are you going to fight for us, man? When are you going to fight for us, bro? I mean, when are Republicans are going to fight for us? Now you say, well, Patrick, just the other day you said they're having a ATF hearing on April 26th. It's March 13th. Like, our gun rights are under attack all over this country, and Kevin McCarthy hasn't been able to find the time to hold a vote on the Second Amendment, on a pro-Second Amendment piece of legislation on the floor of the House. Why do you think that is, folks? Well, I know why it is. They hate you. You're a useful idiot for them. They don't want you to know what's going on in the swamp. And so that's why organizations like us exist. It's what I've done my entire professional political life. I don't care what the politicians think about me in Washington, D.C. I don't care. Organizations I work for fight for gun owners. They don't fight for the swamp. They don't fight for Brian Fitzpatrick. In fact, we're going to be in federal court in New York on Monday, New York City. Our state affiliate, the New York State Firearms Association, challenging Kathy Hochul's unconstitutional Second Amendment legislation. We're going to be in court in Washington. We're going to be in court in Illinois. We're probably going to join up with gun owners in Colorado. Meanwhile, back in the swamp, Kevin McCarthy's hosting a fundraiser for the most anti-gun member of Congress. Now, go figure, guys. Just add it all up. It's not personal. The politicians make it personal, but it's not personal. It only becomes personal outside of my job, right? Like, he's not doing anything for me. And these baubles that are getting thrown out are not structural or transformational change in the swamp. It's just buying people off. They're just buying people off. Oh, you can have this. You can have a vote on this. You can do that. Like, no, I want big change. Like, when are they going to start fighting for our Second Amendment rights? Here's the other thing about McCarthy, guys. He voted for Fix NICS, the expansion of the NICS database. He voted for it. Bump stock ban supported it. Google it. Don't trust me. Don't trust the redheaded Irish leprechaun guy here in his green shirt. Go look it up online. So look, grassroots pressure is the only thing that works. You can think you can buy off the swamp and the politicians like you. You know they don't like you. You're a nuisance. You're a nuisance for them. So keep up the heat, guys. Send your emails. Pat, I'm looking at Patty here. She sent her email. Thanks, Patty. Alan says, it seems most Republicans are bought off. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, look at this bank thing that happened over the weekend. Same thing happens when Democrats and Republicans are in control. It all happens. So send your emails, guys. Look for our grassroots alert in your email if you're on our email list. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, Gab, Getter, those smaller platforms. But check us out on those, guys, Instagram. Get in the fight today. Never back down, never give an inch, never apologize for what you believe in. You don't owe these people in the swamp anything. They owe you. They work for you. Carter says post his address. Carter, there's a link in the comments that you can send your email. It's already written for you, my friend. Take action today, guys. My name is Patrick Parsons with the American Firearms Association. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Send off your email. Join up with joinafa.org, the American Firearms Association today, and we will talk to y'all soon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.